Across every culture and era, one sound unites us all: laughter. It's a spontaneous reaction signaling joy and connection, a thread woven through the fabric of human society. Long before the written word, people gathered to share stories and jokes, using wit to navigate life's challenges and find moments of levity. Ancient jokes, preserved in stone and parchment, reveal that our ancestors' concerns and delights were not so different from our own. Today, we journey back through millennia, not to witness great battles but to listen for the echoes of ancient laughter. We'll uncover the world's first recorded jokes, discovering the surprising and familiar humor of the distant past. Prepare to meet the comedians of antiquity and see how a good punchline truly stands the test of time. Our journey begins in ancient Sumer, the cradle of civilization, where humanity first etched its thoughts into clay. Among their records, they preserved the world's oldest joke, from 1900 BC. Something which has never occurred since time immemorial. A young woman did not fart in her husband's lap. It's crude but honest. A universal, awkward moment that still makes us laugh. The structure is surprisingly modern. A setup, anticipation, and a punchline rooted in everyday life. This ancient jest stands as a monument, not to kings or gods, but to the truth of human frailty. 4,000 years later, the punchline still lands. The more things change, the more we laugh at the same things. In ancient Sumer, we find what might be the world's first walks into a bar joke. It goes, a dog walks into a bar and says, "I cannot see a thing, I'll open this one." The punchline is mysterious, even baffling to modern ears. Imagine a Sumerian tavern, filled with laughter as a storyteller delivers this odd scenario. The image of a talking dog in a bar is inherently funny, especially in a world without cartoons. The humor isn't in a clever punchline but in the bizarre, illogical premise. The joke's legacy lives on in modern comedy, from Monty Python to stand-up routines that revel in the nonsensical. The Sumerians remind us, sometimes, the best jokes are the ones that leave us scratching our heads and smiling. Fast forward to 10th century England, where humor took the form of riddles, poetic puzzles designed to challenge and amuse. One famous riddle from the Exeter book asks, "What hangs at a man's thigh and wants to poke the hole that it's often poked before?" The setup is deliberately suggestive, leading listeners toward a bawdy answer, but the punchline is innocent. A key. The joke works by building expectations, then subverting them with a clever twist. It's a masterclass in misdirection, making the audience laugh at their own assumptions. This is the birth of the pun and double entendre in English humor. The riddle's author knew exactly how to play with language and cultural expectations. Picture a poet in a mead hall, posing the riddle to a crowd of warriors. Snickers and groans ripple through the room as the answer is revealed. The laughter isn't just at the joke, but at themselves for being so easily fooled. This form of humor is sophisticated, relying on shared knowledge and the pleasure of solving a puzzle. It shows that even in the so-called Dark Ages, people enjoyed clever wordplay and a bit of risque fun. The structure, setup, misdirection, reveal, is still used by comedians today. The Anglo-Saxons were early masters of this comedic formula. The riddle is more than an old joke. It's a cultural artifact, revealing a society that valued wit and intelligence. It humanizes the people of the past, showing they weren't so different from us. The key becomes a symbol, not just of access but of the joy found in cleverness and shared laughter. This ancient joke proves that the power of innuendo and the pleasure of a well-crafted punchline are truly timeless. From Shakespeare to modern stand-up, the principle remains: lead the audience one way, then surprise them. The Anglo-Saxon riddle is a reminder that humor is a universal language. 1,000 years later, we're still laughing at the same tricks, and that's the real key to understanding our shared humanity. Next, we travel to Greece and Rome, where humor was collected and curated in the world's first known joke book, the Philoggelos, or the Laughter Lover. Compiled around the 4th century AD, it contains 265 jokes, offering a window into what made the late Roman Empire laugh. The book stars the Scholasticos, the absent-minded professor, a character who's overeducated but lacking in common sense. One timeless joke goes, asked by the court barber how he wanted his hair cut, the witty fellow replied, "In silence." The humor is instantly relatable. Who hasn't wished for a quiet haircut? The joke's brilliance is in its simplicity and sharpness, turning a social expectation on its head. It's a perfect example of situational comedy, rooted in everyday life. The Philoggelos is filled with stock characters and stereotypes, allowing jokes to get straight to the punchline. Romans from all walks of life enjoyed these jokes, merchants, soldiers, and scholars alike. The existence of a joke book shows that humor was something to be collected and savored, not just improvised. The silent haircut joke has endured for centuries, appearing in various forms throughout history. Its longevity proves the universal appeal of a well-timed, witty comeback. The Philoggelos marks the transition from oral tradition to written comedy, a vital link in the history of humor. It's the ancestor of every joke book, comedy website, and stand-up routine. The themes, foolish intellectuals, annoying social obligations, and clever retorts, are as funny now as they were then. The joke book's survival is a testament to the enduring structure of situational humor. Empires may fall, but a good joke lives on. The Philoggelos connects us to the laughter of the ancient world. It reminds us that across centuries, people have always found joy in poking fun at life's little frustrations. The world's first joke book proves that humor is a treasure worth preserving, and sometimes the best punchline is simply, in silence. Our final stop is ancient Egypt, where humor was woven into wisdom literature. From the instruction of Anglo-Saxon, written by a priest in prison, comes this cynical gem: man is even more eager to copulate than a donkey, his purse is what restrains him. The joke is layered. First, the comparison to the famously lustful donkey, then the punchline. A man's desires are checked not by morals, but by his wallet. It's a sharp, modern-sounding critique of society, suggesting that economics, not virtue, governs behavior. The humor is in its brutal honesty, exposing uncomfortable truths about human nature. Ancient Egyptians used jokes like this to teach lessons. Laughter made wisdom memorable. The joke's context matters. Anglo-Saxon, writing from prison, offers advice born of hard experience. His humor is not light, but a tool for survival and understanding the world as it is. The joke also plays on gender stereotypes, offering a self-deprecating view of male nature. It's ancient locker room humor shared from father to son. The punchline transforms a simple observation into a social commentary on love, money, and motivation. Egyptian wisdom literature often used absurd situations and animal characters to explore domestic life's complexities. Laughter here is both a coping mechanism and a way to question societal norms. The joke's endurance lies in its clever construction and unflinching honesty. It looks past high-minded ideals to reveal the transactional reality beneath. Whether you agree or not, the wit is undeniable. From a prison cell, Anglo-Saxon delivers one of history's most cynical and insightful jokes. It's a reminder that humor can be a powerful tool for critique and self-awareness. Even in ancient Egypt, they knew that sometimes economics trumps romance. The joke connects us to a world where laughter was both wisdom and rebellion. It proves that across time, the funniest truths are often the most uncomfortable. And that's a lesson worth remembering. From Sumerian households to Egyptian prisons, our journey reveals one truth: laughter is a constant in human history. The settings and languages may change, but the triggers for amusement, surprise, awkwardness, wordplay, and absurdity remain the same. These ancient jokes are not relics, but living connections to our ancestors. Humor has been our companion through every age, a tool for teaching, critique, and comfort. Share your favorite old jokes in the comments, and let's keep this ancient tradition alive. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe for more journeys into the shared history of laughter.